Hello, and welcome back to Grip Notes. This would be episode 4, segment 4 in the series. And if you've been with me through the first 3, I would think you're pretty serious about whether or not you want to do this. Sorry about how long episode 3 was. A lot of information involved in that one, so appreciate you hanging in there. And today we're going to talk about getting hands-on experience, because now that you've got the basic tools and you've read the books and you've watched the YouTube videos, etc., now you're ready to pursue a career in gripping. And what do? The best way to learn is to get your hands on, get out in the field and start doing it. So in this segment, that's what we're going to talk about. If you don't have any hands-on experience, one of the things you could do if you're living in a community that has a lot of film work, you might be able to go to a rental house and ask them whether or not you can take a look around. See what apple boxes and sandbags really look like, what they weigh, the carts that move them around. And what you'll want to look for when you go to do this is, well, are they loading a show in or loading a show out? Because if there's a lot of gear all over the floor, there's a good chance that they're very busy and they're trying to meet their schedule and their deadline to get a truck loaded and get the stuff out and start making the movie. So those aren't the best days. If it looks like people are just hanging out and cleaning gear and that type of thing, then they might have someone available to walk you around and show you some of the stuff that you've read about or seen on YouTube. And you can learn a lot from those guys as far as what the stuff is supposed to do, how it works. And getting your hands on that way will help you to look very experienced when you get out into the field and actually start moving the stuff around. It's better to have a chance when people aren't yelling at you to move to have that figured out. So there are tutorials, like I said, on YouTube that you can watch once you understand the language of what the gear is that you're going to be using. So you can keep checking into that. If you don't have that in your community, something that's readily available almost in any community, well, you're going to find still photographers or videographers that make their living by doing work locally. And they're going to be serious about lighting. They're probably going to have the kinds of things you're going to work with as a grip. I started out doing stills and I learned quite a bit about lighting that way. And if you've got a good attitude, you're willing to learn, these are usually paid jobs. And they'll hire anywhere from 1 to 5 different assistants or more, depending on the size of the job, to move the gear around, set it up, and do the lighting. Still photographers are a lot more critical about their images, because their images are there to be looked at for any length of time. Once you take a picture, you can sit there and look at it for hours and decide, well, that didn't look that good or that looked good. Whereas a motion picture, actually, the images are moving, and so you don't have to be super critical about every frame. But you'll learn a lot more about lighting with still photographers for the fact that they have to really have that one image do everything it's supposed to do in one image. And so that's another good source, local guys that do that. Weddings a lot of the time, and it's moving stuff around and working in a little bit of a hectic pace most of the time if there's if it's a live type situation. Some of new studio work, commercial work, also very good, less pressure. So good thing to look into locally would be still photographers, videographers. If you have universities or film schools in your area, also a good way to get out and get your hands on, because they're going to be making their films, the students, and they'll need a crew. And a lot of the times the people that are actually doing the students that are working aren't going to really want to move the gear around and do the stuff that's necessary to do the grip work. So it's an opportunity for you to go out and learn. Usually this won't pay anything. They'll probably feed you. The hours might be long, but you'll get a general sense of what it's like to be on a set and do the lighting and what the etiquette is along that line. If you already have the basic knowledge, or if you're still looking for a way to get your hands on, check your internet sites. Media Match, Simply Hired, Indeed are all sites where if you put in the keyword grip, you will find listings that say that they're looking for people to be part of the crew and do the lighting. And once again, some of these pay, some of these don't, but it's a way to get your hands on and learn what you're supposed to do as a grip on the crew. So Craigslist is another thing you could think about. They'll have listings as well for student films and other kind of shoots, and go and check that out. Now, let's talk a little bit about union and non-union. Most people will start out in non-union because you don't have any experience, so you need to get the experience, and therefore your first jobs will probably be non-union. Union is what you'll want to do eventually because those are the projects that you're going to want to work on. All the major motion pictures, all the television shows, all of those are union-based, and in most cases you'll need 30 days working with a union crew before you'll be eligible to get your union card, and then there'll be an initiation fee to get in the union. But the reason that that's good is that you will actually have benefits from this, and you'll be on a particular pay scale where you're not going to be making any less than a certain amount of money to do your work. It's good protection. The unions have been good for this business. So that's the difference between union and non-union. And like I said, I've seen guys that walked onto a film set and had the basic knowledge and were able to just drop right in and get the 30 days and get their card. So it's possible, but it can be frustrating depending on who you network with and who you know. And the students that you're going to meet are serious about doing this for a living. So some of the people that I met early on are still people I work with today. You want to build good rapport with them. You want to have a good working etiquette and a good attitude, and you'll build your film community and work your way up. So that's the way that works. If you are in an area where there is shooting and you've seen little yellow signs with arrows on them, usually these will lead you out to crew parking or extras parking. And since you're neither an extra or part of the crew, I wouldn't suggest that you try and barrel through. The guys that are manning those gates usually are the security guards. They have a big jacket that says security on it most of the time, and they'll be there to make sure you don't get in. And so they're not really the ones to talk to, but if you're walking down the street or if you happen to be driving by and you see a camera set up somewhere, that's the shooting crew. And on that parameter, there's going to be production assistants, PAs. They'll be wearing walkie-talkies. They'll have a headset on usually because you're not wanting to open walkie-talkie when you're working around the set. And they're the ones that are going to stop you and say, hey, if you could, just wait a minute, we're shooting here, or you can't walk through there right now, or something like that. When you run across those guys, you've hit the goal, because what you say to them then is, hey, if you have a minute, is there a chance you could get on Channel 8 and ask if I could talk to the best boy, Grip? And they'll be impressed because Channel 8 is pretty standard for where the grips are on the walkie-talkie channels. And so it'll make them think that you know a little bit more about what you're looking for and what you're asking for. And if they're not in the middle of battle, setting up shots and doing something exciting, PA might direct you over to talk to the best boy. And if the best boy's got his work or her work done for the day, or is in a lull between things, they might be willing to bring you on the truck and show you around. And usually best boys are pretty friendly if you catch them at the right time. But keep in mind that when they're busy, you don't want to push it, because it's a high-pressure job when they're in the middle of battle. So essentially, that's what I have to tell you on this segment of Grip Notes. Thank goodness this one was a lot shorter than the last one. Hope you learned a lot. If you want, you can always contact me through the email infinitygrip@gmail.com, and I will be glad to answer any of your questions and any suggestions you might have to help you get through this process and find work as a grip down the road. And I look forward to seeing you again here on Grip Notes. We'll be coming up with another segment shortly, and come take a look. Thanks for joining me. Talk to you soon. Bye.